I mean, I took it as a compliment on his radar, so we must be massive.
Hello, you're watching NME. I'm Andrew Trendle, and we're here with Courteeners Liam Fray.
How are you?
Not bad, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good. Good.
How's album release week going?
Yeah, all right, yeah. Bits and bobs, back on the treadmill. We never got off the treadmill. Do you know what I mean? Always on the treadmill.
You're not good at taking breaks, are you?
Well, it's because the public know what they want.
Yeah.
Having said that, it feels like about 600 years since our last record.
Yeah.
So it's a weird... We've never done an album whilst still touring and gigging, etc. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't know, we did that St. Jude thing, the acoustic thing as well, so we haven't really had any time off. If you look at it another way, we've been getting on people's nerves constantly for the last, whatever, so...
Do you enjoy that? Do you enjoy pissing people off?
I used to.
Back with, what is it, 6th album?
Yeah, six proper.
Looks like that.
6 seems a lot, doesn't it? Six seems ridiculous.
Institution
I was like,
territory.
we won't last a year, let alone 6 records.
This means you can probably bring out a greatest hits if you wanted to.
Stranger things have been suggested.
But yeah, so 6, does that feel heavy to you?
No, not at all.
I'm going to put that there.
I think because we have made a different record each time. And especially on this one, pushed it. Do you know what I mean? We pushed it. We just wanted to keep it interesting. And look, if you make the same record twice, someone else is going to be there. Do you know what I mean? There's too many people waiting to take your place these days.
Yeah.
It was easier 10 years ago.
And if we talk about how much has changed in 4 years, are you saying 4 years or 3.5 years since the last record?
Well, 3 and a bit, yeah.
3 and a bit. So let's...
We've been making this one for about 3.
Yeah.
So.
We had, obviously, what happened in Manchester. Then you had 2 weeks. Was it 2 weeks after that we spoke at Old Trafford?
5 days.
Yeah, 5 days.
6 days. It was the first gig.
Yeah.
Since that, yeah.
And that was a moment and a half, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It was almost too soon to process it. It's the Monday night, right? Yeah, it was. And we stayed over in a hotel. We had a couple of warm-up gigs. One was in Halifax and one was in Wakefield. No, sorry, I tell a lie. We stayed in Wakefield for the Halifax gig. Anyway, enough of the tour diary. And yeah, it was coming through like overnight and just couldn't believe it. It was still in shock. And the next night we did the gig. It was an atmosphere I've never felt in a room before because everyone was so shocked. Disbelief, I think, and feeling like the whole city had been attacked or music had been attacked. Do you know, like,
yeah,
the idea you should go to that place and feel safe and let go, and anything, you can be what you be and you can express yourself and you cannot worry about everything else that's going on. To have that attacked, to have that's what it was, wasn't it? Yeah, it was pretty horrible, and people are still getting over it now, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll never not think of it, I don't think, before we go on.
But it was good to see Manchester come together in a very Manchester way.
Yeah, it was. It was the one positive that you could take out of that, I think, was that kind of reaction. And that sounds like a cliche, I think, and everybody kind of says it when one of those atrocities happens. And you hope you don't have to hear it ever again, but it is true. It felt pretty powerful.
Yeah, I mean, leaving my hotel and I got just outside the lobby and people were all the streets were full of people singing Oasis. I don't know if that was Courteeners fans or if that's a regular Manchester Saturday or...
There's an overlap. There's an overlap.
But yeah, the sense of togetherness at the gig was just inspiring. So many people in tears.
I understand as well if people didn't want to come, and I saw that, I get that. But from judging by the gate receipt, there wasn't, I don't mean the gate receipt in what we made in terms of how many people came through. It was a full house.
Yeah.
So there weren't many who stayed away. It struck with me, I remember I was having a chat at the end of the show, and you look down and there's all these high vis, and we were that high up, they look like little lemmings all following each other.
Yeah.
But they're most of them will be students, right, who are on £9 an hour, sweeping up plastic cups of, Heineken or whatever, They're the brave ones. They went to work that day for £9 an hour, not knowing, you know what I mean? And obviously there was a police presence. Look, we came into the back door in a blacked out Mercedes and walked on stage. It wasn't brave on our part. You didn't have to do anything. Got up there, played some songs and fucked off, went to a party. The people that were on the gate, the people that were on the merch stands, the people that were at the bars, they were the brave ones. So it really sat with me when you saw how many people had to work that day. Internal monologue must have been in overdrive that morning getting ready for work, I think.
And do you reckon that experience changed your approach to playing live from then on?
No. No, fuck that.
Yeah.
No chance. Do what you do.
Yeah. But I remember you saying, I wasn't there, but you said on stage at the last Heaton Park, that felt like the party you deserved. Because,
yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
It was, you can't go, because I went out and did that poem, didn't I? I can't remember the name of it now, so the bees still buzz, and I walked out, and because see my hand was like that. I don't get nervous, but that was different. You weren't representing Courteeners, you were representing the city. And you're representing like music as a whole, like I said, like it was attacked, the whole thing. So you're representing that. And it's different doing that and having all those things going through your mind rather than, you know, the obligatory like, you know, that you're supposed to do. That is, you know.
Would have felt cheap.
Well, of course, it would have done. It would have been fake. So, I'll tell you what though, it was charged. You could feel it. They were ready. Why shouldn't they have a night out?
Exactly, yeah.
You know, they deserved it.
It was a celebration of enjoying yourself.
So, it just felt like it was like, let's get this done and do it as good as we can. But this is no night for celebration, if you know what I mean. It didn't feel like that anyway, in a weird way. It was coming together, if you like. But yeah, the last one, that was the party.
Yeah. Because that's a headfuck that very few bands will have to go through. Would you say that has shaped the new album in any way?
Yeah, probably shaped me and us. It's just really weird because I'm protective over those streets. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like it when a shop shuts down or a bus stop gets moved.
Or a Starbucks opens where...
I mean, you know, honestly, like I'm like, that didn't used to be there. Oh, where are they moving to? Like, I get protective over that. And then when you see it all lined with flowers and stuff, and it'll never leave me, but I guess, I think it's like if a family member passes, and like, we've had quite a lot of family members passing in the band, like both my grandparents, Campbell's father, Conan's father, in like the last, like, since the last record, even in the last 12 months. So there's been I think as a band, I mean, we're best friends, I know everyone knows that, but we're brothers, do you know what I mean? Like that togetherness as like, what's the word, not solidified, but you know, like just we're closer than ever. And the small stuff gets forgotten a lot quicker, I think. Maybe that's because I'm going grey and I'm getting older, I don't know.
Yeah, wiser,
The small stuff is less of an issue. I don't know, I feel a lot calmer and a lot, like I don't give a fuck about perception, which is ironic because it seems to be changing, and you know, could have done with that 10 years ago. But maybe that's symptomatic of the last couple of records we've tried to kick out a little bit. Yeah, we've got the spikes on now, so we're on the running track.
Yeah, I mean, those few years must have been a strange contrast because there's a lot of celebrations to be had as well. Like you did the St Jude tour, that mega Brixton show, Heaton Park, as you just said. How was it measuring that kind of celebration against? Because when we spoke before Reading, you said you'd had the worst couple of years of your life. Yeah,
well, I think it probably was, and like, the band is still like, I still love it. It's still, I mean, it's the reason I get up. I mean, it is literally the reason I get up. But it's like still right in there, and it's a bit weird when you either don't have it or you think it's not going the way that it should do, in inverted commas, whatever that is. So when that happens, and it is your life, and it is my life, like whether that's sad or it's admirable or whatever, I don't know, but it's my life. So when that's not going great, life isn't going great. For 90 minutes you're on stage at Eaton Park, no one touches it. No one touches me, I'm flying.
Yeah.
For the 6 weeks you've got nothing to do and you're at home and the curtains don't get opened. No one hears that, no one hears about that. So that's tricky sometimes to get out of, especially when there's a distinct lack of support network really for musicians as a whole.
Yeah.
Not least when you're Mancunian, you come from Manchester and you call Liam and you expect it to be, what should I say? Everyone just thinks that if you're in a band, oh, you've got it made, you're the man and all that.
Yeah.
No, they haven't. We haven't.
Yeah,
People haven't. And I'm not saying get the violins out. I have to be very delicate with this because I'm blessed to do what I do. But you hear, like I heard Danny Rose, Spurs player, and Paul Merson and stuff. I think taking it to football is a good angle because they're the people that you would least likely expect to be talking about it. Mm. Well, them and male rock stars from up north who are supposed to
Yard and...
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, it was a weird couple of years. But, there's always a pen and pad in my house, so what do? You get that out and you sit at the piano and bit by bit, you pull yourself out, I guess.
Yeah. But didn't you hit a brick wall at one point?
I wouldn't say it was a brick wall. I think it was worse than that. It wasn't a case of... Someone quoted me as writer's block. I might have said it, I don't know. So if they quoted me then, they should have done, right? I don't know. It wasn't writer's block, it was more than that. It wasn't like, I can't write this verse. After a bit, I was like, I don't care about this verse. Like, I need to get out of the house for a start, let alone where I was. So, I don't know. And it is difficult to talk about it without sounding like, oh God, like, woe is me. Do you know what I mean? But yeah. I can't lie about it. That's how I felt. And that's where a lot of the songs came from. The thing is getting those songs to a point where people are going to want to listen to them, and also ending on like this, I don't know, like my friend's he always used to say hope through the rain, and I love it, and like, it might be someone else's saying that, I don't know, but I love it. And I guess what it is whether it's a week or 6 weeks or 2 months, like it can dissipate, it will dissipate, it will go. Like I've had like depressive episodes or whatever for like 10 years. Ironically, since the band started. I shouldn't laugh because it's not a laughing matter, but even that is symptomatic of the stigma that surrounds it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I'm so I shouldn't be laughing at it, but I've had those things. I guess I'm better at dealing with them and learning how to get out of it. But yeah, it's not, you can't really go like, oh yeah, and the lead singer in a band, but I'm feeling a bit down about it. People just go, piss off, like what have you got to be down about? Yeah. And that's the problem. That's part of the problem. As if like, footballers haven't got stuff going on or, but then having said that, there are millions more people who've got different, but and honestly, like everyone is different, aren't they? And it's relative. So I guess it's probably finding out your way to deal with it. And I don't have the answer, do you know what I mean? But sitting at the piano helps. Yeah. So...
Well, there's nuances of being in a band that often aren't explored. Like, I was talking to a drummer once and he told me that, like, when you're on tour, that tour bus is your world. Mm-hmm. You get a laminate that gets you all your meals. You got this family around you. But then the tour ends, they drop you off at King's Cross. They take your laminate off you. And with that goes your entire culture.
It's the umbilical cord.
And you're just dangling there. Yeah. And what have you got?
Yeah. You turn to the bosom and it's like no one's there. Yeah, it's nuts. And you get used to it, but again, as soon as you start in that, you get used to that again. Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe because the shows we've been doing are getting bigger, that automatically means the gap between them. We're not Arctics or Muse or whatever, so we're not playing to 50,000 people in Mexico. We're doing that in Manchester, which is great, but there's nothing for 6 months before that. So not only are you sat at home going, I tell you what, I better have the fucking flu that day, which is it is a lot of pressure because if you're unwell on that day or whatever, and people don't think about that, it's one day you've got to feel good. If you're on your arse that day or whatever, something's not going right, if you have 100 big gigs a year, you can afford to mess 2 up. If you've got 1, you can't mess that up. Especially because it's all anybody goes on about for 2 years afterwards. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to nail it. Yeah. So, Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough situation. It's tough for me to sit here like this, mic'd up, with a nice jacket on and go, oh God, being in a band. It's really tough. But I think it's, what I'm trying to say is more symptomatic to say like everyone can kind of go through it, or bits and bobs, you know what I mean? And look, no one ever felt worse for talking about it, so I don't give a shit. I'll deal with that other stuff if it comes my way, whatever.
Yeah. Well, when the record was in early stages, you told me that the new stuff was dealing with excess, addiction, and self-improvement.
It's a good quote.
It's good, isn't it? That was the headline. No, I'm doing it. So, to what degree would you say that the lyrics of this record are kind of a map to your recovery? Is that too simplistic, or is it just a picture?
No, not really. No, that's pretty accurate. And yeah, but it wasn't meant to be that way, I don't think. I think I'm too lazy to write about anything else than what's happening up there or in there.
You're not going to write a Brexit song? Or?
That's just, no. That's just the way that I've always written. So if you're in love, you get to take over the world, and if you're not, you get to take it on the chin. Do you know what I mean? Or whatever. That was good, I didn't even mean that in 2 takes. Yeah. But that's the way I've always written, and because I guess I find it easiest. It's what I fall into, But it wasn't necessarily like, it's going to be like this. Like, God, I hope this record doesn't sound really depressing now. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I mean. It's
I guess the lyrics, they're autobiographical. I can't lie, I write them, so they do come from me. I like the idea that we've come up with something really sounds really hopeful, really positive, underlying. Feels like that to me anyway. But a lot of them probably started out from places of, down there.
Yeah. But as I was saying, there is a lot of life in the record.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are still don't worry, there's still bangers.
Yeah.
So, like, when you were writing the record and you weren't feeling certain things, did you throw a lot away because it felt too Courteeners?
There's an element of that, I think. I think, annoyingly, I've always had that in the back of my mind, that it's too Courteeners. It's like, hang on, someone said, you are in the Courteeners. That's what you should do, it's all right. And maybe I let the fact that, I don't know if I felt like they came for us with the pitchforks on the first record because we were built up so much, it's going to be difficult to live up to, like, hype, etc. And it is for bands, innit? Do you know what I mean? And maybe the first record was, like, well received by fans, but maybe not critically and stuff. You second guess everything then, you're like, oh God. And it's really difficult that when you were young, we were young, we were like 21, 22. It's hard to see people like hammer what you thought was good, but then you can see so many people into it. If there's nobody at the shows, you'd be going, let's pack it in. But there's loads of people at the shows. So it's like, well, how can all them like it and some others not? Well, I think that's symptomatic of us. It's like, I'd much rather appeal to all them and 6 of them. And I say them, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, mate. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like maybe like broadsheet journalists went for us. Well, maybe the band wasn't for broadsheet journalists then. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? It was for the 18-year-old kids who were at indie discos. And it was, do you know what I mean? Because that's what we were when we wrote it. So why would I pretend to be anything different? Yeah. However, I'm not an 18-year-old kid at indie discos now. That would be really weird. It's interesting. In there.
Like, you had Gerry Cinnamon on the road with you. He must feel like a kindred spirit because the media's like ignored him completely. And then
not so much now.
But like,
yeah.
How many? What's the capacity of that gig he's doing in Glasgow? It's like 50,000, I think.
Whatever. He's possibly the best example of it. Yeah. That's just gone doing it my way. I'm going to write these songs. If you like them, you like them. And the kids have gone mental for it, and rightly so. Do you know what I mean? Like, fair play to him. He's killed it, knocked out of the park. Also, there's a definite element of like people wanting to say they made something. And when no one can say they've done that, they're a bit like, where have you come from then?
I didn't make up a name for this.
Yeah, exactly.
Cinnamon Core, we could have called
council pop. That's not in, by the way. People used to say that about us when we're starting. They used to laugh me head off. All power to it. It shows you it can be done. I think it's a ray of light rather than going like, oh yeah, do you know this guy who can get me on this list? And can this person manage me? It's like, just write 10 songs. Just write 10 good songs and put them out and see if anyone comes. Rather than people are so careerist. Can you get me this? I get it all the time. Can this person manage me? Have you got any songs? No. Why don't you start there then? It's mad.
Yeah.
It seems like the first thing you would do is the song. And it seems like it's slipping down. Like, no, song is still king. The song is number one. Everything else after that should follow.
Yeah.
But unfortunately now, because, you know, people have kind of wafted the smoke screen and they see playlists and like, I don't know what a playlist was when I was 18. I didn't care. And I'm not talking about Spotify or streaming services. I mean, like radio, you get on that playlist. What's that? I didn't know what that was till about Falcon, I don't think. That's only because we didn't get on it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But now people are obsessed with, and don't get me wrong, the industry is built on that to a certain degree, but there are other ways in. And, you know, we've shown that. And Gerry, and there'll be more. So, I like that. It just shows that there's a bit of hope, and you don't have to go through the traditional routes, as it were.
Yeah, but would you say that the way that music fans are listening to music now changed your approach to this record? Because there's like a hip-hop element, there's an LCD sound system thing, so a kid can hear a Courteeners song completely free of context.
Yeah, absolutely.
And like that version of Courteeners.
I mean, there's always going to be people who like buy vinyl, and I'm one of those, and I like that, and you go home and you get your headphones on, you're in your old world. And now with playlists, especially that are curated by streaming services, you could be on next to, you know, Billie Eilish, you could be on next to whoever, different genres. But also, people just consume like a track by you, or, you know, you bring a new song out and they listen to that. So there's probably a bit more, I guess on the last record, there was, you know, we had like 17th and a few other bits that felt were stepping out a bit. It just feels they're stepping out a bit more. I think we've probably earned that with the fan base. But it does like give me like a good feeling that the fan base will give you that bit of leeway, they give you a bit of rope. And they go, no, actually, yeah, we trust you here. If we'd have brought More Game Forever out 5 years ago, it'd be finished.
Yeah.
So I think that it does show that people's ways of consuming are changing. But I think a lot of it has to do with perhaps the relationship we have with our fan base and the trust maybe that they've got on us, that we're not going to go too weird. I don't know. It's difficult for me to say that. That's my take on it anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on this record, what do you think is the most extreme version of Courteeners?
Probably More Game Forever. I think that's my favourite on the record, just because it's so different. I wrote it on the bass, which causes issues down the line when I show it to Joe, and it's like, guitar players who play bass like a guitar are hated.
Yeah,
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Because I'll play it like I'm playing the guitar.
Do you have a bass face?
No, I mean, probably do actually, yeah. But yeah, I've wrote on the bass, and I like that. I liked the idea of an LCD beat, but I needed it to be human. So I've got to give Campbell a lot of credit on that, because it's difficult, because you spend your whole life trying to do this perfect beat, and then I'm like, oh no, can you just like mess the hi-hat up a bit? And he's like, what? I'm like, just make so we know it's human. Do you know what I mean? So you've got someone on it for 10 years saying, do that like like perfect, and then you've got someone like, be a bit loose, right? But he's nailed it. It was important that I think you can create dance music, that has the human element. Do you know what I mean? And it's important to get that kind of heart across, I think, rather than it be all programmed. Not there's anything against that, but I just, it's a personal thing I wanted to get across, I suppose.
Yeah.
And I think we toyed around with a sung lyric for a long time. And so, because, I don't know, we probably went to go to the pub or something, so I just said, well, just say the words in so we know where they're going to land and stuff. And just to check the rhymes are right, and I wanted to make sure that it wasn't just, the rhymes on it. There's a lot more wordplay on this, where I was like condensing, I don't know, I'm boring myself talking about it. This is what we're here to do, right? Do you know what I mean? So, and we listened back to it, this sounds pretty good spoken. So yeah, a bit of a risk, and people are digging it a lot, and that was a big thing for me. You put it out on Spotify, people don't like it, well, it's nothing lost, because there's another 9 songs coming, so. Yeah. And luckily they did. It was strange live, I don't know if it's going to carry live, I'd love it to. It's whether people will be responsive enough for the spoken word element of it, I don't know.
What are you going to do with your hands?
God knows. Not thought about that yet. Yeah, have to work on some dance moves.
But in terms of what you were saying about people digesting music in a different way, kids won't just listen to guitar music, they'll listen to Courteeners alongside Kendrick, alongside Dua Lipa, alongside Billie Eilish. And in terms of you not giving a shit about misconceptions, I was going to ask you if you had a new opinion on, or the same opinion about Matty Healy's comments through the year.
Right, yeah.
When he said that he said Courteeners do what they do well, but he asked the question, why would a kid want to be in a punk band or a band like Courteeners in, well, it must have been 2018, 2019.
Yeah.
Do you feel differently about that now?
See, I have to be careful because I don't know exactly. I didn't read the whole interview.
Yeah.
So, is he saying that guitar music is dead? Is he saying... Because did he not say 4 white guys shouting into a mic? Did he not say that? Because we haven't done the same record twice, ever. You know, Falcon was me trying to be an elbow or something, you know. And then it was like, okay, tone it down a bit. So everyone's been different. I mean, I took it as a compliment. We're on his radar, so we must be massive. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I think they do great things, and he stands for all the right things as well, which was, I was kind of disappointed because it felt like a little bit of a pot shot, but I guess that's indicative of where we're at. Are we at the top of, or near the top of people's radar in the terms of like guitar bands? Well, I mean, we do play guitar. I am in a band. I can't really, I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, like I'm a grime artist to try and fit in with some, you know, with the zeitgeist. I play guitar and I'm in a band. So it's a tough one really, but I'm not going to lose any sleep over it.
But do you, because obviously you're going to do what you're going to do, you never made the same record twice, you're not going to, but because of where you're from and because of guitar music, there's always going to be these repetitive questions.
Yeah, it's classist. It's, you know, you don't get it. I mean, a lot of people, it does seem like it's aimed at people from the north more than it is from the south. The guitar thing, the guitar band.
Is it dead? Is it alive?
Is it dead? It gives a fuck. I mean, why does everyone get asked that question every time they bring an album out? Is guitar music dead? It's mental, I think.
Yeah.
There'll be peaks and troughs when it's on the radio and it's at the forefront, you know, but like Declan McKenna in Halo, the Snuts, like it's definitely...
Sam Fender, all that.
It's definitely not dead.
Yeah.
So why do I keep getting asked? Everyone gets asked. I think it's just... I mean, it's one of a duck's back for me now, but it just feels insulting. Like, is Sam Fender going to get asked next time guitar music's dead? Why should I have to answer that question? It's crazy.
Yeah.
Really. It comes back to... I don't know, I think there's like still a hangover from like 2007 from people probably having too many guitar bands, and they hated that we came in just through the back door, just as the door was closing, and we're still here. So we still get treated as if it is 2007. It's like, well, musically I feel like we've changed. Also, I'm a 34-year-old man now. I'm not a 21-year-old kid, you know, getting off his head 6 days out of 7. Do you know what I mean? Like, people have chilled out and attitudes have changed, and rightly so, within the industry. But it seems weird that people still make assumptions about my band and me and our fan base and stuff like that. Hurts. Because they don't know my fan base. And so when I see certain articles or reviews and it mentions the fans, that gets on my nerves, that hurts, because you can't generalise 50,000 people in a sweeping statement. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's incredibly rude, so, but whatever. Look, it says more about the person saying it, so, I don't know. And also as well, like, those things have definitely changed, but yeah, the guitar music is still dead thing. That is funny, because it is mad, that, isn't it? Like, I wonder if Stormzy will get asked, is grime dead in like 3 years? Yeah. You know, it probably won't, but... Yeah. It just keeps happening, but I guess because it's always been at the forefront, I guess, of like music from the 60s, certainly goes through peaks and troughs, so I guess it's kind of been the constant, hasn't it? Yeah. Through very different... But you can make so many different records with a drum kit, a synth and a guitar. So a guitar band, and most records in the top 100 will have a guitar on it at some point. Yeah. It's just how you want to present yourself, I guess, or or not want to present yourself, but keep getting labelled as such is probably the problem.
Is there? How do you feel about Courteeners always being shoved in with certain questions? Like, for instance, the last time we spoke was before the TRNSMT announcement.
Yeah.
And then there was the whole 3 male headliners, but that's not your fault.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, because we decided to say yes to a festival in Scotland, we're misogynistic and, you know, all that. I mean, God, I was getting shit for it. It's like I didn't know what the lineup was. So, I don't know, it's tough to swallow things like that. But the bigger issue is, you know, the lineup, should the lineup... I don't know if this is true or not. I got told Hymus were going to do it and couldn't because they were booked somewhere else or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not. So, if it's true, I mean, if it's not true, I mean, sue me.
I wish I was at that show where Zuzu... Was that, well, actually, I think I missed
Zuzu and Gerry, they both came with us on tour.
Yeah.
That's great.
She's amazing, isn't she?
So good.
Yeah.
I love her. Proper, like... What's the word like? And like, what I do like is I fucking kick your door down in the dressing room, right, lads? It's like, whoa, hang on a minute.
Scouse, though, isn't it?
We're not even opened the champagne yet. But no, I love that. Yeah, they're great. The whole band was really nice, and they're doing great things. So yeah.
Yeah. What was the other thing? The TRNSMT bloke said there should be women picking up guitars. Like, they are. Look at them. It's amazing.
Yeah. I didn't read the whole thing. This is the trouble with like when you read something on Twitter. People now don't even read the article. Yeah. It's a soundbite. It's a terrible soundbite.
Yeah.
But is it out of context? I don't know, so I can't really comment. But even now, we'll be in the rehearsal room and say, "Oh, did you read that about a news article?" And we'll just say, "No, but I saw it."
Yeah.
You just say you saw it. Oh yeah, I saw that. So what?
Yeah.
You just saw this one thing, and then probably made your own thing up here that might have been 10 times worse or inaccurate. Yeah, I'm pretty sure loads of girls are picking up guitars, so that is a strange thing to say. But yeah, like I said, it's difficult for me because I don't want people to think that I'm taking money from a festival that isn't inclusive. But it's like you said, like I'm also not shying away from that festival. 50,000 people. We've never headlined anything like that, so it feels weird for it to be tainted with other stuff. But then again, it's not all about us, is it? So I'm being purely selfish there. But it's a bit weird to for me to talk about it and be kind of positive and critical. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Because I want to say, oh yeah, we deserve that up there. But then but also, haven't they only announced like one set of people? That's the other thing. People were waiting, I feel like, and this is also a dangerous thing in with the Twitterati, is people are waiting to be outraged as well, which is dangerous. I don't know, I've not seen the rest of the lineup, I'll have to see, but yeah, let's see the rest of the lineup.
I try and stay off Twitter these days.
Oh mate, it does, mate. I mean...
Imagine if you had Twitter in 2007, what that would have been like.
I would have been dropped before we got signed. Look, it's a good tool. You can't enter into any type of conversation with anybody. Forget
dialogue's
that.
Not possible.
I tried that. Forget it. Forget it. There's too many idiots on there. It's good to show off a single artwork. Do you know what I mean? I'm all about Instagram stories now anyway, mate.
Yeah.
What I'm having for breakfast, what I'm doing on the tube, all that.
Filters.
All the filters, yeah.
Oh, have you done that forehead thing? It's like what?
I've seen enough of them to know that it's probably not for me.
What Disney princess do you think you are?
Oh yeah, I've seen all of them. Yeah, Jasmine.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Aladdin, isn't it? See, I've got little cousins, mate. I'm in the know.
Oh, you're not going to share it.
No.
Was like how abreast with new? Because I know you took like Zuzu on the road the other year.
Yeah.
How excited are you about young talent?
It's mega at the minute in Manchester. Like I wish there's like about 600 bands. I wish we would have 3 of them to knock around with.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean Campbell and Conan doing each other's heading back then. We've learned to live with each other now. but yeah, we felt like real black sheep when we started out. There was a couple of things happening in Manchester, but they were a bit older than us. And they'd been around for a while, so we kind of felt like it wasn't our scene and stuff. But now it's great, like, and it's not just going into venues and seeing them all chatting with each other and feeling. What I miss is I never had that communal thing with another band, and I missed that. And that's my one kind of regret with the band, that we never had another band to knock around with or bounce off or go to the studio. Or it was always very insular, which I think probably what's the word? Like trickled down into my demeanour maybe in interviews being a bit like closed off and chip on my shoulder and stuff, because we had to be like that way, because we wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes in a live circuit. We didn't have anybody to have our back except us in that room. So it's very difficult to put that armoury on and then go on tour and be like, oh yeah, do you want to lend an amp? Okay, if you don't have an amp. So I would have loved what seems now like a very healthy like camaraderie, and there's a lot of open arms and people wanting to I love that. I think it's great.
Yeah. So 2020, new decade, what does the rest of 2020 have in store for you? Because you haven't announced any shows apart from the launch shows.
No. What are we doing? We're probably not doing Glastonbury, because we've done like 7 out of the last 9 or something.
Last one was good.
Yeah, it's brilliant. So I love Glastonbury anyway. It's just like the best place on earth, isn't it? But I don't think we're doing it this year, which is gutting. But I think I will be going, which is great. Can I have a drink? We've got a few things planned, but this is the boring bit where I kind of go, oh yeah, nothing there. But we haven't. We've got a few bits in the thing, but I can't say. So.
I mean, where'd you go after Old Trafford, Heaton Park?
I'd say a #1 album, hopefully.
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
I don't know what your competition is this week.
I mean, I don't know. We've always been in and around, to use Match of the Day speak, but we've never been number 2 or close, whatever. So we've got a good chance, I think, weirdly. And the last couple, it's felt like it wouldn't have mattered. I don't know why that, but this one feels like it does. I don't know why.
Because you've been through so much to make it.
Maybe because it took so long. Maybe because, yeah, and start of a new decade and it feels fresh. Well, this would be good to kick off, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It feels like it might lead to other things overseas, maybe. Labels don't want to spend money unless they've got like this concrete story. I'm like, well, hang on a minute, we're doing about 300,000 tickets a year in the UK. That's a story, and it gets over there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But the European festivals have been really good to us the last couple of years. So it's good because you're starting again over there, and I don't mind that. I kind of like it.
Are there any countries where you're weirdly popular, like how Hurts to be massive in Russia?
Yeah.
Is there a country where
Hurts are massive everywhere.
Yeah. Is there a weird Courteeners vibe in like Belgium or something? Or
I keep getting messages off Brazil and Argentina, so that'd be cool.
Come to Brazil!
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love that. We do all right in Italy. We do like 500 in Rome. Like that sells out. That's pretty good.
That's good. Yeah.
But we don't do it enough, I don't think. But again, when you're in Europe, you are properly just on the bus all the time. So it's like, yeah, it kind of blurs into one. And
so goals for 2020: #1 album.
Yeah.
Train to Brazil.
Yeah, get straight over there, I think. Yeah.
That's it. Liam, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, bud.
Cheers.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Absolute pleasure.